In the world of professional wrestling, where legacies are often written in championship gold, main event victories, and WrestleMania moments, there stands one man whose story is far more profound than titles and trophies. A man who captured the hearts of millions not by chasing glory, but by spreading laughter, loyalty, and love. A man who gave more to the business than he ever received back, and yet never once stopped smiling. That man is Ron Killings, better known to the world as R-Truth. For over 2 decades, R-Truth was the heartbeat of WWE, a constant presence in a world of revolving doors. He wasn't always in the spotlight, but he was always in the room. And he made that room better simply by being in it. But before he ever stepped into a wrestling ring, his journey was one few could imagine. Born in Charlotte, North Carolina, Ron Killings didn't dream of being a wrestler. He dreamt of making music, of performing as a rapper. But life had different plans. He fell into the streets. He sold drugs. He ended up in prison. By his early 20s, most had written him off. But fate intervened. Jack Crockett, a former wrestling promoter, saw something in Killings that no one else did. He saw potential. He offered him a way out, a chance to turn his life around. And Ron took it. With no real background, no family in the business, and no safety net, he trained, he struggled, and he broke in the hard way. He wasn't handed anything. He earned everything. When he debuted in WWE during the Attitude Era as K-Quick, many saw him as just another gimmick. But even then, you could see the spark. His charisma was magnetic. He moved with rhythm. He talked with energy. He rapped his way to the ring, something unheard of at the time. Paired with Road Dogg, he got a brief run, but he was still seen as comic relief. Still, he never complained. He just kept working. Then, in 2002, Truth did something incredibly rare. He left WWE and went to TNA, a brand new company trying to find its identity. And there, he changed the game. In a time when pro wrestling was still dominated by white world champions, Truth became the first black man to hold the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in a major promotion. And he didn't do it with tokenism, he earned it. He cut promos that were raw, real, and revolutionary. He spoke about being held back because of the color of his skin. He brought truth to the forefront, not just as a name, but as a purpose. When WWE brought him back in 2008, he wasn't the same man. He was more polished, more confident, more complete. And yet again, they slotted him in the mid-card. But instead of being bitter, he made it his playground. He turned every backstage segment into a highlight. He didn't just do what he was told, he elevated what he was given. Whether he was rapping with the fans, yelling "What's up?" or just dancing down the ramp, he made you feel good. Then, in 2011, fans saw a new side of him. A darker side. R-Truth turned heel and transformed into a paranoid conspiratorial lunatic. He talked about being held down. He stopped rapping. He blamed the little Jimmies in the audience. And somehow it worked. It shouldn't have worked, but with Truth it did. He was terrifying, unpredictable, and utterly hilarious. His promos became must-watch. His work with The Miz as the awesome Truth brought him to the main event of Survivor Series at Madison Square Garden against The Rock and John Cena. It was surreal and deserved. But even as the main event run faded, Truth kept going. He didn't chase the spotlight, it found him. In the 2010s, WWE introduced the 24/7 Championship, a belt meant for comedy segments. Most saw it as a joke. But Truth? He turned it into the most entertaining part of Raw. He didn't just hold the title, he defined it. With over 50 reigns, he pinned people while they were sleeping, disguised himself in costumes, got rolled up in golf courses and weddings. It was genius. And every week, he gave fans a reason to laugh about, when wrestling had little else to offer. Behind the scenes, he was known as the Glue, the veteran who younger superstars looked up to. A man with no ego, no bitterness. He never complained about his position on the card. He never refused a segment. He never phoned it in. He was always professional, always kind, always truth. Then, after years of being the comedic backbone of WWE, 2024 gave him one more chance at glory. Teaming up once again with The Miz, the awesome Truth returned. But this time, the fans saw them differently. They weren't just goofballs. They were legends. At WrestleMania 40, in a feel-good moment that brought thousands to their feet, they won the Raw Tag Team Championships. It wasn't about the titles, it was about what it represented. Loyalty, longevity, redemption. Even after that, he kept going. Somehow, even at 52, he felt fresh. He was placed into storylines with the Judgment Day, bringing chaos and comedy into their dark, serious universe. He called Damian Priest Bunny, tried to bond with Finn Balor, and constantly broke the fourth wall. But the fans didn't just laugh, they loved him for it. He gave that faction a heartbeat. But then came a moment no one saw coming. At Elimination Chamber 2025, John Cena, the man R-Truth idolized since he was a rookie-turned-heel in shocking fashion. And R-Truth, in character and in real life, couldn't believe it. At Backlash, when Cena was in trouble, Truth ran in not to fight him, but to help him. To bring back the man he once admired. But Cena turned on him. Brutally. Silently. Powerbombed him through a table like he meant nothing. It wasn't just betrayal, it was heartbreak. The next week, R-Truth cut the promo of his career. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He spoke. Calm. Heartbroken. He called Cena his hero. He said he believed in him when no one else did. That he still believed. And maybe, just maybe, he could bring him back. So at Saturday night's main event, in the main event match, R-Truth entered the arena wearing Cena's gear. He rapped the Word Life theme. The crowd laughed, but then stood and applauded. It wasn't parody. It was tribute. It was a man confronting the pain of losing a hero. He wrestled with his heart on his sleeve. And after the match, when Cena finally raised his hand, it felt like closure. What fans didn't know then was that this was his goodbye. A week later, news broke that R-Truth had quietly been released by WWE. No fanfare, no farewell speech, just a quiet goodbye. It was later revealed that Cena insisted on including Truth in his final heel, run not as a joke, but as a favor, a thank you, a gift, because even Cena knew the world needed to say goodbye to Truth one last time. There was no Hall of Fame moment yet, no grand retirement, just silence. But in that silence came something more powerful, gratitude. Fans everywhere began sharing their favorite Truth moments. The jokes, the skits, the raps, the 24/7 title wins, the heartfelt promos, the way he always made others look good, the way he never changed, the way he always showed up. R-Truth wasn't just a part of wrestling. He was part of our wrestling, the background music to our Monday nights, the unsung hero of the locker room, the man who didn't need to be the GOAT to be great. He made us laugh. He made us cheer. And in the end, he made us cry. Because R-Truth wasn't just a gimmick. He wasn't just a character, he was real. A man who turned his pain into punchlines, his struggles into smiles, and his failures into unforgettable moments of humanity. He may never get the headlines, he may never get the documentary. But make no mistake, we will never forget the truth. And that right there is what makes a legend.